Hey guys, welcome to the show. Happy Saturday to you. As you can tell, Krista is not here today. She is spending time with some family, and Tex has graciously come over to help fill in. Tex, how you doing today, buddy?
You know, a lot better. A lot better.
That is good. You had some. You had a fun time early this week.
Oh yeah, it was a blast.
You know, that's just one uncomfortable feeling. But hey, that's all behind you now. Get it anyway. And everything's going good, hopefully. So.
Oh yeah, it's my Friday, and it's this is going to be a good. This is going to be a good show. This is a topic that interests me, so it's I'm looking forward to this one because I've got all kinds of questions.
All right. We have Rocko Fowler backstage. He was involved in the Montauk project. So we will get him up here in just a second. I got to switch things around so the screen's going to look a little funny. I have a few things to get to before we bring Rocko out there. First things first, we still have time for the giveaway here. We have one ticket left. So Blondes and Booze, Paranormal Among Us, and are going to be at the Haunted Castle House in Brumley, Missouri on Friday, September 13th. What is better than going ghost hunting on Friday the 13th? Only if there was a full moon. But we have one ticket left, and instead of one of us getting to pick who goes, we just said, hey, you know what? Let's just give it away and get one lucky winner to come with us. So if you guys are in the southwestern Missouri area, go ahead and enter this contest. Like I said, Blondes and Booze, Paranormal Among Us are all going to be there. To enter, simply share both Blondes and Booze and Paranormal Among Us YouTube channels on your Facebook page to enter. So, and need to tag either Krista, myself, or Brandy in your post so we know that you are entered. And then your name will be put in a hat, and we will draw the winner on August 31st. So none of us have been there to the Brumley Haunted Castle House. It's going to be a fun night. So don't worry about anything. We got seasoned ghost hunters with us, so it'll be a fun night. Also wanted to share this out. Blondes and Booze and After Dark Paranormal are putting on an event at the Ray County Museum, October 26th and 27th this year, from 1:30 to 2 a.m. So we have kind of two portions to this. The first part is going to be Paranormal 101 and Cryptid 101. So if you're in the area and want to come just for that, it's going to be $15 to get in. Great deal there. Also, if you want to stay for the ghost hunt and the Paranormal 101, Cryptid 101, and a pasta dinner, I would go just for the pasta. $65 for all day, and it's going to be fun. Greg Ogles will be there. He did The Legend of the Downey Booger, and he's got the new documentary Cryptid Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes, coming out. I can't wait to meet him. It's going to be a fun night. So come on out to Ray County. Go to Eventbrite, search for Blondes and Booze, and it should be the first event on there. So come on out. Hope to see you guys there. I know Mickey, I didn't see her in chat yet, so I think she's going to be there. I'll be there. Blondes and Booze will be there. Oh, and that night we're also going to our friends Carmen and Lauren. I can't remember where they're going to be that night, but we're going to try and do at the same time an Estes method at Ray County and wherever they're going to be. And if Carmen, if you're in the chat, let me know where you're going to be. See if we have some kind of connection. They're going to be close, so it'll be some kind of connection between the two. So that's going to be fun. You know, if you can't make it to Ray County, we'll be streaming it here or Blonde's channel or wherever. So, all right, you ready, Tex?
Yes, sir.
Let me switch back to that. All right, our special guest tonight, Rocko Fowler's coming on. Rocko, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourselves?
We're doing fantastic. All the way. You're in New Jersey area.
No, I'm actually in Missouri.
You're in Missouri. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's where I am. That's where I am.
Man, y'all Missourians are taking over these shows here lately. Y'all just coming out of the woodwork, ain't you?
That's right. You know, Krista's
you and the girls, and
I've been doing this since 2014. Rabbit hole. I grew up on Long Island.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of things that I will speak about. I just hope there's no chopper activity tonight.
We will be very
any power being blown out, or no. I mean, this really happened a lot.
Yeah. I want to quick read the bio that you sent me. Rocko, he was an elite programmer at Montauk. After climbing the ranks within the organization, he was tasked to help new recruits develop their skills to fight within the ranks. Through any means necessary, he would break the trainees to build them up into seasoned soldiers. There's more to it, but I kind of want to touch on that a little bit. Before we get into any more of this, talk a little bit about your involvement, if you can, in Montauk.
Well, which involvement? Because see, time doesn't exist. So you see, there's something called a time bubble. So you see, I could be brought back 20 years right now. They could take me, bring me back 20 years. There's a time bubble in Montauk. There's a time bubble on certain, you know, even though it's not physically happening there, it's like metaphysically happening. It's like different realities, different timelines. First of all, I'm a multi-dimensional being. Before I came to this planet, I signed a contract when I had died in the Montauk chair, and they had brought me back through in the cleanup of the project. And when I signed that contract, I do remember this because I went through a regression therapist, and it was like I was in the chair and I was strapped down, and I was being told, well, you're going to have to do this, 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 and this in order to enter the next vessel. So I chose this life, what I go through currently today. I chose this. No one else. Like a lot of people, they'll say, oh, well, yeah, we were partly unwilling. It's very weird because, you know, a lot of people are tied down to what a book says, okay, and what a date says. Just because a date is written in a book does not mean that there's whitewashing that is going on. And it's horrible and it's horrendous. And a lot of these people that are involved in these programs are elite, like literal, like horrible politicians, police, you know, these are like handlers. Once you're in this program, you get tagged with handlers. So a lot of people have family as handlers. There's so many different timelines of Montauk. I have been told by numerous people that they have seen me there. Now, as being what I was at a teenage year, coming around now to the teenage year of teen/teacher, was after my first, I had an encounter at 3 years old that I remember, and they were 4 grays, but they were like lighting up like a green, literally a green light. It was like a light bulb flickering. And my mother remembers them staring at me. And from that point on, I remember being brought to underground facilities, my mind being experimented on, and they were basically getting me ready to bring me back as a teenager to train me to become a killer, to become an assassin, to go on missions on other planets, to go into other dimensions, to do their bidding is what they really wanted me as a soldier to do. To shut my mouth, do what I'm told to do. Don't tell anybody, you because first of all, for a long time, speaking about this stuff was very hard for me. Now I really don't care. It's when you become awoken to this stuff, when you become truly awoken to this stuff, you start having relived experiences. You start meeting others that are like you, and you start, your journey. And, my one thing I always say is what's your sole purpose? What is your sole purpose? My purpose is to be one of the ones that help with unity, bringing unification, bringing everybody back together. Because if we fight and we keep fighting one another and we keep arguing with one another, and this goes for any community out there, we're not going to win. The government's going to win. The elite is going to win. So I get on this kick where, all this love and light and blah, 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 blah. No, look, if somebody's attacking you, and you are amplified or you are trained with psionic abilities, which are abilities that, happen to be with the military, and, they don't want you to know what psionic abilities are, because psionic abilities can literally cause heart attacks, brain aneurysms, even to the point of just making somebody like, that's it, you know what I mean, ish. Like
one Rocko, I just want to just say one thing here, guys in chat and anybody who's watching this. If you don't believe what anybody says here, please be respectful in the comments.
It doesn't bother me anymore.
Well, you know what? Hang on a second. Hang on.
It bothers me. But yet they follow. Even if they do leave a negative comment, yet you follow paranormal. What is paranormal? Not normal, my friends.
Okay.
Not normal. So therefore, no, I have a very high vibrational energy about me, my friend. I am a multidimensional being. Mm-hmm. I have been in other existence. I have destroyed different timelines. I have recreated different timelines. I have popped into people's homes and fought off demons with other people. This stuff is real. You're speaking to another Stranger Things kid. That story is based off of what we have went through. What we have went through and the struggles that we deal with on a regular basis. Because we do. We deal with a lot of struggles. And I'm sorry, but my energy is the way it is, man. I'm high vibration, man. I'm high vibration. I don't stay low. Hey,
Rocko, I got a question for you. Going back to what you were first talking about. You keep saying they, did this and they did that. And I get it, but who are they?
I am in no position, sir, to tell you that.
Oh.
Right now, I am a commander of a ship.
Gotcha.
I have a fleet. I have a group. I have to keep that kind of stuff sort of under wraps at this point, because
Oh,
we're
okay.
at a point right now where if you see what's going on with the DOD reports, if you see what's going on, you might want to take a look. It's us. It's us that we're, a collective bunch that we're tasked to do these things, horrible things. I mean, this story is not a bed of roses. It's not a walk in the park.
Mhm.
A lot of the movies, have taken and stolen actual stories from people. And also music. There are people out there that believe that their music has been stolen, which I do believe it, because I know how the elite are and I know what they do, and they're horrible, horrendous, the elite. So,
Rocko, one question I had, kind of going back a little bit. You mentioned you have a handler, and somebody else in chat mentions that they had a handler as well. Kind of tell us what a handler is for you.
okay. Well, when I was younger, around, I'd say 10-ish, I was living out in the Watermill area, Sag Harbor area, which was about a half hour away from Montauk. Now, I didn't start having any memory of this back until around 2014. So, yeah, I have admitted to doing horrible things to children. And you know what? There's a lot of people that have not admitted, and they will never admit. So go away with that raping children stuff. Anyways, it's a joke to me. But yeah, so I was living in Sag Harbor area, Watermill area, and the woman my father was dating is a witch. And she was always trying to buy my father's love, trying to buy my, love. But I remember her bringing me out to Montauk and telling me that you're going to meet a guy and he's going to like you. And I remember the ride out there. And every time I get on that long stretch of road to go out to Montauk, and the first time I went out there after all of this being, happening when I was a child, it freaked me out. It literally freaked me out. Like, I was like, wait a minute, something, I don't feel right about this. And I kept going. I kept going. And it's just transpired into a bunch of research, also dealing with, alters that they programmed in me while I was, going through the actual programming, being put in dog cages, being fed dog food with disposables. And when I say disposables, I hope the audience understands, because I'm just going to say it like that. But yeah, they were mixed in with the food. There's a couple of people that speak about this and have shared memories. And so, as I went through the program, I went through torture, waterboarding. They'd literally bring me like to a point of death. Like I was dead, and then they'd put me in a regen. So they'd regen me and bring me back and then program me. They'd program whatever it is they want to program into me, bring me into a room. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Getting you to think that all this stuff is real. But really what they're doing is they're using us as guinea pigs, is what they were doing.
Us as in the general population, or us as in the members of the...
Oh, the whole world is mind controlled now. I mean, the whole world is mind controlled. Because if you think independent music is good music and doesn't have subliminal messages in it and it's not cult related, well, I can tell you right now, there's plenty of cult relation in the independent industry.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Calhoun, I mean, all these people, and it seems to be in the country rap era where they can't leave people alone. They just can't leave people alone. And I feel presence right now because I'm very spiritually open. So I know, and I'm going to get into the story, and I'm not afraid of it. I'm writing a sci-fi novel, my friends. So, if you call the cops and say I raped kids, I'm just going to show them about maybe 20 pages of what I've already wrote. Maybe 20. I'm very creative. So you can do whatever you want. It's not going to work. I am shielded at all costs. So just know that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a very controversial. Obviously, I mean, just what we're dealing with in chat. You're a very controversial figure. That goes without being said, and you know that. You knew that. You told us that when you came on. But when I want to focus on the music thing for a little bit, because I know, being an older feller, I went through the whole, burning rock records and all that kind of stuff back in the 70s and even into the 80s. Was that something that we were seeing? Because I don't know which side it was from. Was that trying to protect us from what was being said in music, or was it trying to cover up the truth that was being said in certain music?
Well, if you look at movies and you look at music and you look at music videos, and for instance, like this might sound out of control, like crazy, but okay, so like certain life experiences, like for instance, when Tommy and I believe it was Jason or Jacob from the Power Rangers had a falling out. That's something that happened with me. And I have a connection with Emerald Green. So I look at myself as being the Green Ranger. And then there's others, which by one of them is, connected. And I'm not going to say any names. And I'm just going to warn you guys out there. You throw any witchcraft at me, you say anything about doxing my address, I'm going to have this man report you. Okay? So take your cult self and keep it moving. And leave me and my family alone. I'm warning you right now. Because I will burn through your eyelids.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay. Hey, Rocko.
I will use my pyrokinetics. And I will damage you hard body. I don't care. Okay, I'm not about love and light, my friends.
All right. We need to reel this back in.
So be careful what you say about me.
Okay, Rocko.
Name out of your mouth.
Okay. I don't want this kind of language on my show. And this is a very controversial guest. People in the chat, we've had to put a couple people in timeout, so please be respectful. I'm going to bring Rocko back on.
Pictures are being used on other
accounts. Okay. Yeah,
my pictures are being used on different accounts. This guy, CM Gonzo, I knew this was a setup. I knew it.
What, you saying I set you up?
I don't know, man, because you got a hell of a lot of people in here that are I don't know how they found out how I was here.
I've
I don't know.
I've deleted several comments.
I don't know who, I mean, using my picture, they have used my kid. I mean, these people are doing stuff that is completely illegal.
All right.
Like, you don't want these people around you. They're horrible people. They dox people's addresses all the time. They do it. They've tried to get me admitted into a psychiatric hospital because they think I'm crazy. But realize this, when us super soldiers take over this planet, well, I can tell you one thing, you're in for a huge ride of your life, because we ain't going to tolerate it. Because I can tell you one rule in space: there's no mercy.
Yeah, we're seeing. I don't know where they're coming from, but we're seeing a lot of people that we haven't seen before.
Yeah,
and those are the ones that are attacking you. So obviously that's something that you have people following you around, and
I bet
you're getting different stuff. So
this is real. This is what I mean by like stuff happens. You understand? Stuff happens. Why would all these people be so concerned about my life? No, they're injects. That's what they are. They're injects. They don't consciously know it because they've been mind controlled. Mm-hmm. You see, I can break that down very easily. They have been mind controlled. They are mind controlled and always will be mind controlled. They're like stormtroopers, or they're like the on Star Trek, or not Star Trek, Star Wars, the crash dummies is what I call them, and they just kill each other, and that's what that is. No, I'm about unity, but I'm also about respecting people's families. Mm-hmm. Things have happened in my past, but I mean, we're going 16 months down the line, and I've already hit one of my shows has hit over 10,000 plays. Mm-hmm. Just one of my shows. So, like, we could just, it is what it is. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of it just because. And it's because it's my story. But being a programmer is not easy to be living with in the here and now, knowing that it happened, knowing that it affected a lot of people, knowing that I hurt a lot of people, myself, being a programmer. And being a programmer was where I was able to pull an altar. And when I would pull your altar, I would reprogram your altar with songs, codes, assassination programs, all different kinds of things, different attributes, and figuring them out, and figuring these people out and dialing in and figuring out their altar before I place it back in the body and send them to their dog cage. That's what would happen. You'd get put in a dog cage. We'd electrocute. We'd do all kinds of horrible things. We'd break you. That was our job. Our job was to break you and make you a real soldier. Psionically. With your mind. Being able to do things with your mind, it's just so funny to me that so many people think that this stuff is a joke, but then when something ends up happening, they're driving down the road and they, next thing you know, are getting ran off the road by SUVs. Happens all the time. Happens all the time.
We do have one quick question from the chat. And I wanted to talk about this anyway, so why don't we just go ahead and bring this out. You do remote viewing, right?
This is correct. Yes.
Kind of. Go ahead.
Well, I have to like really focus. And when I focus, I have to focus on a target, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use a photograph and I'll look the photograph in the eyes, and that's one way to connect to the soul. So I can connect to the, psyche, or if they have a clear-cut connection, I'll clearly just connect with them and I'm there. I can like envision everything that's going on, but it has to be in an isolated area. I can't be interrupted by the phone, which happened one time and it caused somebody to feel a little bit of pain, which I took the pain away because I also do a lot of energy healing. I have done spiritual detoxes where I have done things in other countries to other people remotely where I completely cleansed their whole body of what garbage toxins were in their body. I've also gotten so angry that a man walked out to the garbage can who's a friend of mine, and he ended up having a heart attack. So, yeah, energy does travel faster than the speed of light. And the target is what with remote viewing. You're looking at the target. You're trying to figure out the target. You're trying to scope out whatever it is, and a lot of times I'll get like down to one woman. I blew her mind. I mean, like, and I didn't even get done typing, and she already said, "I feel you," because I said I'm going to give you an astral hug, and she felt me, and she said it was strong, and she also hasn't dreamt in years. And the next day I get a message, and after I'd done all this work on her, and I mean, this is tiresome work, because you're sitting there and you're trying to figure it out, and you're trying to keep kind of like a blinders on, but like you're trying to connect. You're trying to stay connected because there's other things that are always coming into the picture, or trying to come in, or attachments or altars, or, other people's stuff. Because when you work with more than one person, they can also remote view you if they have the ability. And when they remote view you, that's where that I come up with that. I give you 10 seconds and then I'm going to burn through your eyelids because of the pyrokinetics. And I don't mean physical eyelids, but you do feel a little off because it's kind of like a nudge, like back off. I'm in the middle of a session, or back off. I don't want you remote viewing me. I'm in my in my privacy. Right. Everything is done with permission. So if I'm going to remote view somebody, I ask them permission. Right. I don't do live, remote views. I don't do that, trying to prove anything. That's not my goal. My goal is just if I feel something coming from somebody, my energy's already going to unleash on it. And, if it's in pain, it's going to try to help. That's all I try to do. Right.
I know we don't have a few minutes left, but I want to ask you a question about people that are experiencing like time loss incidents and stuff like that. Is it tied into this?
Oh, missing time? Absolutely. Yeah. They can take you, and I woke up on a Saturday and I thought it was a Monday one time. And my phone even said Monday at that time. Like, it was weird. It was really weird. So, like, when I came back into this existence, it was like it was very weird. It was like I looked at my phone and it was like all blurry and it said Monday, and I'm like, why is this saying Monday? And finally I came out of it and I looked and it said Sunday or Saturday, pardon.
Right.
Saturday. It's just, that happens a lot.
So is that actually like an abduction thing, the whole time loss incident's going on, or is this a physical thing? I mean that's we've all been talking about that here lately. So
yeah, I believe that it could be physical. I definitely do.
Okay.
I mean, I've woken up with marks on my body. I had a triangle on my upper chest, and I remember actually being abducted. I woke up, bleeding from the bottom. So there is a chance that I was probed. And a lot of attacks started happening after I was probed. If that's what they did, or they implanted me with something.
Right.
And I do feel a lot of pain, like in my abdomen, like lower abdomen area. I feel a lot of pain. Like it took me a while just to sit down after that incident. But I do remember they were dark reptilians, scaly skin. We were on a craft, and I was strapped down, and they were working on me. And this happened a couple of different times. I was given threats. If I speak on radio shows, they're going to, at one point take me out. I've been told many different times. I've had phone numbers that have called my phone, called my mom, some really weird stuff. Not to mention, you're talking to somebody whose family member works for Homeland Security. So I can find out an address very, 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 very easy. And if you really want to know the truth, and I'll put it out there because I don't care. Yeah, they work at Plum Island, my friends. And yeah, I have family that also worked at Brookhaven National Laboratory, which you will never find any of their information. But they can find you very easily.
So you mentioned also a couple books that you have coming out. One was yours, and one you're working with.
Kind of like working, like it's what we're doing is okay. So like today, there's a gentleman, and each one teach one, right? So we get into these like little groups and we chat, and I let him talk, and things come up. Like I'll play a certain song and it might trigger something in him. So what I'm doing with him right now, because he was one of my test subjects, I am basically reprogramming him, or deprogramming and reprogramming him with good stuff. And so happily, he's a writer, and he's the type of guy where when he remembers something, it's typed all the way. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's a story that's basically, and also a mission that's basically, that's been going on. Mm-hmm. So, some of the stuff is really difficult. I did a lot of harmful things to children. Am I proud of that? No, absolutely not. The Rocko here is not, it was Danny who was basically, it was me, but it's hard to explain because the altar is literally a part of you. The altar is a part of you. It is programmed to be set off. It is programmed to, there's all different kinds of programs with this. It's unfortunate. It's, like an altar will come out, like my front-sided altar, like will come straight out sometimes and tell you the straight truth. I'm not going to tell you something if I don't want to tell you. And if you don't like it, oh well.
So when you're talking about altar, you're talking about what can you explain what an altar is? Because I don't think you're talking about, an altar where,
at a church.
Yeah. It's like an altar, an alternate of yourself. Is that what we're talking about?
I consider it like a digital angel that I'm creating to place, you understand, and program it. And you have these altars in you, okay? And like altered personalities, and we give it names, and we give it different color hair, and there's all different kinds of things. So an altar doesn't necessarily look like me. Now, I have had people say that they have seen me, images of me, in their homes or and stuff like that, or on missions or in underground facilities or wherever it is, on a spaceship, on Mars, burning colonies to the ground with my eyes. Like one of the assets that I speak with, he said that I didn't even need a firearm. It was basically all I would need is my eyeballs, because I have that firepower. I have that firepower. Pyrokinesis. Yeah.
One question that we had come up real quick is Amy asked this. I want to because I had this question before. How are you chosen to be part of this program? Can you?
I guess you didn't listen to the beginning of the episode.
We were dealing with quite a bit going on.
I chose this life. I chose to come here and suffer for people like you, normies. I chose to suffer. I chose to go through pain. I chose to put others through pain. But I will not sit back and be double questioned on anything I say. I will simply say, okay, have a nice night. It was nice meeting you. Don't contact me again.
Okay.
Don't wake a sleeping lion, or don't wake the sleeping Taurus. Because if you do, then it becomes, the energy in the air gets a little bit more heavy.
Right.
First of all, this is like stuff that, okay, I'll explain it like this. It's like I could end up in Montauk and be a kid, and then next thing you know, I'm an adult, or, or I have a different job title, or there's so many different ways and means to all of this. It's not nailed down to just one exact thing. It's not nailed down to one exact thing. But I chose literally to come here, and I chose to do the things that I've done. And yeah, all of what, yeah. And it was done to me too. So it's like, it's almost like a time loop. It's almost like everything happens to me and then happens to others. And then somebody might be under me, under my command, and then I might be under their command. So it's like there's so many different timelines. And when I began to understand who I really was, that I was a multidimensional being. Also, I'm a surrogate. My mother could not have children, but they used her egg with another woman. So there's some special there, you know. So you might have hit something on the head with Chosen, because my mother did talk about a book that she used to read to me when I was a kid, that Chosen one. And I remember being on the couch with my father when I was younger, and we were watching Terminator 2. And he leaned over to me and he said, "Son, just know one thing. You have been chosen." Exact words.
Mm-hmm.
Exact words. Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew right then and there that I was not normal. I did not have friends when I went to school. I didn't have a life like that.
Right.
I couldn't. I didn't know how to live life normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why at one point I got heavily addicted to substances, because I just wanted to suppress everything. And then in 2014, I got sober. I had a year sober, and that's when these memories started to really kick in and start to cause me to go I ended up relapsing again. That's how deep down the rabbit hole I went to this. And if you look up my last name, it holds weight in Montauk to the Indians. If you translate Pharaoh in English, what is it? Fowler. Also Welsh genetics, Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
And very prominent when it comes to Montauk. No matter what anybody wants to say, it doesn't bother me, because today I know who I am. I know what I went through. I know my mission, and I'm not going to shut my mouth. I'm going to continue to tell my story. I'm going to continue to get it out there as much as possible to as many people as possible, because it's important that people understand that 5G is controlling the whole entire planet right now.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard that.
Upping it and upping it and upping it and upping it, because normies can't live on frequencies that multidimensional beings can actually live on. So that's why that's why a lot of these people that think things are jokes, they don't understand what's coming.
Right.
There's always a calm before a storm. And no, I'm not talking QAnon, and I'm not talking any of that. Part of that, yes, there was some truth, but there was a lot of infiltration. And when you infiltrate, it causes, like, for instance, say I go and infiltrate another planet that doesn't belong to me with a group of soldiers, and I don't belong up there, and I go up there and take over everything that belongs to them. But I was tasked to do so, to set up base, or go up there, clean out a base, or sometimes even, in the astral, a lot of us will go on these rescue missions, and rescuing these children from these reptiles, reptilians, Draco. And it can be hard at times, because it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And they're relentless. Just put it that way, relentless.
I can imagine, because
well, it's been a hell of a show.
Yeah, I've had my hands full watching chat. I've had one eye on chat, one eye here, so it's been a little tough for me to focus. So
haven't even been paying any mind to the chat. It's just,
well, where can people find you?
Well, I'm definitely not going to say anything on here, because then that just gives gateway for other people to find me in other places that I don't want them to. I just want them to know that thank you, because I planned on coming on this show and talking, and I let out a lot of information, and I'll probably pay for it. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Fear is the number one killer. When you realize that death is temporary, when you realize that it's temporary, and you could just you could die and end up someone else.
One thing I will say, I recognize 99% of the names that are in chat. 99 of the names that I've recognized have been respectful tonight.
Yep.
And I greatly appreciate that. The ones I have not recognized have not been, and they have been deleted. They have been banned. That's how we roll. Rocko, none of this was a setup. I swear to you that. None of this was a setup.
I just that happens sometimes.
I completely understand. And it's a controversial subject. I understand that. Some things are going to happen.
No. But
let me get going here. We're taking every opportunity we can to make sure that our guests, any guest that's on this channel, is respected. And if they're not, consequences. That whoever is unrespected gets banned.
Rightfully so.
Right. So, Rocko, I appreciate you coming on. You have a lot, and to me, it's very brave of you coming out to all these channels that you've been on, and taking the questions that you do and giving your side of the story, and trying to get people to understand what you went through and what could possibly be coming. To that, Rocko, I appreciate you taking your time and coming on here to do that.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir. All right, Rocko, we're gonna put you backstage for just a second here. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate everybody who stayed with us and was respectable of the guests. That's what we're all about here. People can come on if you agree with them. Hey, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. Just let's not attack people. That's not what we're about here.
Big shout out to the mods tonight. Thank you.
Yes, guys, you did a fantastic job. Gary, Freaky, Kim, Amy, saw Brandy on here earlier, and everybody else in chat. I appreciate you guys coming on. Tex, what do you got? What do you have coming on Sunday night, tomorrow night?
Well, I tell you what, Sunday night's going to be a good one. The case that we're going over, me and Danielle's going over on Infamous Minds, it's a rough one. It's the youngest woman that's ever been put on death row. She hit death row at 18 years old.
Holy cow.
So, and what she did was absolutely horrific. But as usual, it goes deeper than just that.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to miss this one.
Sunday night, 7 o'clock?
Yep.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you guys for a great night. Appreciate it. I can't talk all of a sudden. Appreciate you guys coming on here. And we will see you, Tex and I will see you, well, obviously on tomorrow night, Monday night, Tex.
Yep.
And then Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Waking up weird. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow night on the front porch. Night, everybody.